Okay, whenever I travel out of town, stay somewhere, I like to get a picture of a view from my room. I forgot my still picture camera, so I'm just getting video evidence that the view from this room kind of isn't that great. Okay, hopefully the wind's not blowing too hard and you can hear me. I'm out just outside Sherman, Texas. It looks like it's out in the middle of nowhere, but we are just a hop and a skip from schools and churches and civilization, so to speak. This is commonly referred to as Woodman Circle. I believe it was originally built for an organization like, I don't know if it was Woodman of the World or something else, but it was like an Elks Lodge type organization. It eventually became an orphanage, and in the 1970s they had to meet, they had to update their electricity and stuff like that, and they couldn't afford to do it. It's actually cheaper for them to just move the orphanage. So they moved out. It was a church for a brief period of time. And then after that, it just bounced around ownership to different savings and loans. And, it has been vandalized. All the fixtures have been stolen out of it. Of course, you know, people get into these abandoned houses. This was big in the 90s too. They get into these abandoned houses, get the copper and stuff like that out of them to sell it. Somebody, you can see the roof right there on that one building, just about gone. There was someone came in and set fire to several of the buildings, or to some of the buildings. I know there's these two buildings here, and there's that gazebo back there in the back, and a lot of it has been fire damaged. About 10 years ago, a lawyer purchased it. Said he had plans for it, but I guess he just never came through on that. I'm not sure if he still owns it or who does. They do have no trespassing signs posted. So desperately I could actually get over that fence too, even as fat and old as I am. And I debated about whether or not to make this paranormal video, but since I can't actually get to the house, it's just a, hey, look at this creepy old house video. But don't be surprised if we can swing it. We can get inside. I'd love to go in there and just walk around. There may be one or two investigation videos coming up. And it looks like this is the original entrance to the place. I can't tell if that building back there in the back is... No, I think that's just somebody's house. I don't think that's part of this. You can see there, if you catch it at just the right angle, it almost looks like there's nothing wrong with it. At the outside, it's part of the bricks and stuff. It doesn't look bad at all. But this would have been the big drive. Looks like a circle drive. We'll pull up right to the front door over there. See there, the no trespassing sign. There is a story, I believe during the brief period of time it was a church. Apparently, as the story goes, a 4-year-old boy fell down a dumbwaiter and did die in the building. There are reports of screams, and I've seen some of the people that have been there before. See if I can zoom right in and get a peek in one of those windows. I have no idea what this secondary building would be. You can see the main part of the building. I think it's also known as the Woodman's Mansion. Okay, I could have. Dang it. I could have swore I heard. I don't know if I even want to say it. Could have swore I heard somebody yell just then. Or it may have been. Maybe it's not necessarily coming from there. I don't know what that is out in front. See, there's a flagpole out front, and then you can also see back there, I believe that building goes along with all of this. Wherever you're picking at. I hope you're getting a good look. I can't. There we go. I have no idea what all of these buildings were used for specifically. Other than, well, the gazebo is pretty obvious. And like I say, this part up here is pretty obviously the main building. I'll move over and see if I can get a better shot behind. It looks like that might be it. You can tell that building back there, it looks like there's no roof at all on it. Like that side there, that might have been like a sunroom or something like that. Blowing their damn horns. So like I said, that's just a quick look. Let's see if I can get inside the front door there. Well, like I said, that's just a quick look at it. Really neat looking old building. I'll have to get more information on it. This is just stuff I caught just a few minutes ago. See if I can look, see how old the building actually is. Hopefully you can hear some of this anyway because the wind's blowing so doggone hard. But we'll definitely be looking into this. Okay, I actually shot video for this part too, but apparently as I was moving the camera around or something, I hit the record button, turned it off. I only had like 3 seconds of video for this part, so just going to do this real quick. And to give a little bit more, because I had just found this place literally minutes before I went and shot that video. To give a little more information on the place, it was built, well, one source said the late 20s, another one said 1930, but late 20s, early 30s. It was a place where widows and children could go and stay. You hear horror stories about places like that. This apparently is not one of the places that these horror stories come from. This was, a lot of people came away with good stories about this place. They actually helped people. And, back in, as far back as the 30s, it was right on up into the 60s. It was tough for women. If the husband died, a lot of times the women were just kind of screwed. It was hard for women to get insurance. It was there wasn't a whole lot of help out there for widows and single mothers, and even my grandmother. I remember what they said when my grandfather died. It was now that wasn't something they forced them to do, obviously, but it was suggested. The first thing they suggested to my grandmother was to send all my uncles to a boys' home. And you'd think, stuff like that now, for a good mother to suggest to a good mother, oh, send your sons to a boys' home, it'll be better for them. That's asinine today. But that was just kind of the thinking in the 1950s. And you can imagine it was even worse in the 30s. Women had only had the right to vote for, a little over 10 years at that point. And this place helped these women out. They helped them get insurance. Children who were orphaned, both their parents had died, they were able to stay there until they graduated high school. And a lot of people came away with good stories about this place. But of course, in 40 years of history, you can't imagine that it was all good. There had to be some bad stuff that happened there. And then after it shut down, it was a church for a brief period of time. That is supposedly when the 4-year-old boy fell down the dumbwaiter. Don't even know for sure if that's true or not, but I did want to add that they are very serious about the no trespassing. Because I did dig around. I believe that same lawyer still owns the property. And he, if you are caught on the property without permission, you will be arrested, you will be prosecuted, and there's like a $1,500 fine. So if you are in the area, you know about the place, you know where it is, I would consider yourself warned. You're on your own now. If you want to go ahead and go, hey, that's up to you. But don't say I didn't warn you. I believe it's the same lawyer. Have not been in contact with him yet. They have opened it up to the public a couple of times before. A few years ago, they opened it up to whoever wanted to come in and take pictures. And then there was some kind of music artist that went and shot a video in there. Now, of course, they probably got paid for that one. I don't know if they'll just open it up to some random people to call up and say, hey, we want to go walk around in the place. But we're going to see what we can do. Mostly just wanted to add that, give the extra information I found, and also that if you want to go, if you want to hop that fence, and I tell you, I was tempted. I was standing there. That fence was not that high. But if you're going to do it, be warned, they don't mess around. It's not like they're just going to say, hey, don't come back in here again. You're going to be arrested. So, but we're going to see if we can look into this, and maybe down the road we can actually get inside.